Football fans wait 4 years for this. And somehow, we're only days into the 2026 World Cup, and it already feels like we're witnessing moments that people will be talking about for years. Because World Cups aren't remembered because of the group tables. They're remembered because of moments, the kind that make you smile, laugh, celebrate, or sometimes even cry. And one of the first unforgettable moments of this tournament didn't come from a player. It came from a fan. Ahead of Japan's match against the Netherlands in Dallas, a Japanese supporter was stopped for a quick interview. At first, he looked nervous. The interviewer handed him the microphone, and you could almost see him searching for the right words. Then, with the biggest smile on his face, he said, "Excuse me, I cannot speak English, but I am excited! Japan!" That was it. No speech, no analysis, no prediction, just pure excitement. And somehow, that tiny moment captured exactly what the World Cup feels like. Within hours, the video was everywhere. Millions of people who had never met this man suddenly felt connected to him. Not because of where he was from, not because of which team he supported, but because every football fan knows that feeling. That childlike excitement that only arrives once every 4 years. And if one fan reminded us why people love the World Cup, a goalkeeper from Cape Verde reminded us why people fall in love with its stories. Every World Cup creates an unexpected hero. The kind of player who arrives with almost no attention and leaves with millions of fans. This year, that player might just be Vozinha. At 40 years old, Josemar Jose Evora Diaz is older than many of the players he's facing. In football terms, he's practically supposed to be retired. Instead, he's playing on the biggest stage in the sport. And not just participating, making people notice. Every save seemed to create another highlight. Every match seemed to bring another wave of fans. Before the tournament, many casual football fans had never heard of Cape Verde's veteran goalkeeper. Now, people were searching his name, sharing his clips, following his journey. His social media following started growing rapidly as more fans discovered one of the most unexpected stories of the tournament. And honestly, that's one of the best things about the World Cup. It introduces us to people we didn't know we'd be rooting for. 1 month ago, Vozinha was simply a goalkeeper representing his country. A few weeks later, he had become one of football's favorite underdogs. But if Vozinha's story was about earning the world's attention, Curaçao's story was about earning the world's respect. Because football isn't always about winning. Sometimes it's about moments. When Curaçao stepped onto the pitch against Germany, most people expected the match to go exactly one way. Germany would win. And they did, but that's not what people remember. What people remember is the goal. One goal. Just one. When Curaçao finally found the net, something incredible happened. The players celebrated like they had won the tournament. Running, jumping, screaming, hugging each other. Pure joy. The kind of joy you can't fake. And honestly, how could you not love it? Because for one moment, a nation of less than 200,000 people had written itself into World Cup history. The scoreboard didn't matter. The result didn't matter. The memory mattered. Years from now, those players might forget the exact score. They'll never forget that goal. And neither will the fans who celebrated it with them. That's what makes the World Cup different. But Curaçao weren't the only underdogs making headlines. DR Congo arrived at this World Cup carrying a 52-year wait. More than 5 decades had passed since their last appearance on football's biggest stage. Against a Portugal side led by Cristiano Ronaldo, most people expected a routine result. And when João Neves gave Portugal the lead, it looked exactly that way. But DR Congo refused to back down. They kept pushing, kept believing, and just before halftime, Yoan Wissa made history. His header wasn't just DR Congo's first goal at the 2026 World Cup, it was their first ever World Cup goal. When the match ended 1-1, Portugal left frustrated. DR Congo left with something much bigger. Their first World Cup point, their first World Cup goal, and a moment their fans had waited generations to see. Because that's becoming a theme of this World Cup. The smaller nations aren't here just to participate anymore. They're here to compete. And while players were creating unforgettable memories on the pitch, fans around the world were creating them everywhere else. That's the beautiful thing about this tournament. You can walk through a World Cup city and see thousands of people who don't speak the same language somehow understanding each other perfectly. A smile, a chant, a celebration, a shared love for football. Suddenly strangers become friends, countries become neighbors, and everyone feels like they're part of one giant story, which brings us to Lionel Messi. Because no matter how many new heroes emerge, some players just have a way of creating moments that stop the entire football world. After Argentina's match against Algeria, cameras caught Messi in tears. Immediately, people started trying to figure out why. Had the hat trick overwhelmed him? Was it because of the result? Was it another milestone in a career filled with them? The answer turned out to be something much more personal. After the match, Messi revealed that his tears had absolutely nothing to do with football. He explained that he had gone through some difficult and complicated days before the tournament began. Days completely unrelated to the sport. He chose not to reveal exactly what happened. But he admitted it had been a difficult period. Instead, he focused on thanking the people around him, his teammates, the coaching staff, the entire Argentine delegation, the people who helped him through those difficult moments. They made a lot of effort to make sure I am doing well, Messi said. And suddenly, the image of Messi crying felt completely different. Because for a moment, he wasn't the greatest footballer of his generation. He wasn't the World Cup winner, he wasn't the icon. He was simply a human being going through something difficult, just like everyone else does. Then, somehow, he stepped onto football's biggest stage and delivered a hat trick. Afterwards, Messi described this stage of his career as the cherry on top. A beautiful way to describe everything he has achieved, everything he has experienced, and everything he is still enjoying. Even Argentina manager Lionel Scaloni couldn't quite explain it afterwards. "I am at a loss for words about Leo," he said. "He's incredible." And maybe that's the perfect way to end, because the World Cup is only just beginning. There are still weeks of football left, more goals, more drama, more heroes, more moments nobody can predict. But if these opening days have taught us anything, it's that the moments we'll remember most aren't always the biggest ones. Sometimes it's a nervous fan shouting, "I am excited, Japan!" Sometimes it's a 40-year-old goalkeeper winning over the football world. Sometimes it's a small nation celebrating a single goal like it means everything. And sometimes it's the greatest player of all time reminding us that even legends are human. That's the magic of the World Cup. And somehow, we're only getting started. If you've enjoyed these stories, leave a like, subscribe, and let me know which World Cup moment has been your favorite so far. Because if this is how the tournament has started, imagine what's still to come.